Work to address the homeless crisis here in San Diego is about to hit a new phase. A report from the Regional Task Force on Homelessness this year showed the number of homeless people in our county doubled in 2020. In June, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria created the Homeless Strategies and Solutions Department to prioritize efforts to address this issue. And joining us is the head of that new department, Hafsa Keika. Welcome.
Thank you.
So I know you have 15 years of experience working to help the homeless in Los Angeles, Santa Ana, Riverside. What worked and what didn't, and how are you going to apply what you've learned to San Diego?
Absolutely. Well, Virginia, I think one thing that I've learned that's a constant is housing works. We need to make sure that there is stability and placement for persons experiencing homelessness. What also is very important is understanding the wraparound supportive services, the mental health nexus, the substance abuse programs and services, medical and respite care services, and that outreach and engagement needed to really establish the rapport. And that's one thing that this administration, Mayor Gloria's administration, is prioritizing, and I'm so honored to be a part of it.
You know, some critics have said the homeless who have drug, alcohol, or mental health issues can't be helped in any long-term, meaningful way. What do you say to that?
Well, I think that it's important to understand that that is a very chronic population. That is a population that's experiencing the hardest of hardest challenges. When you have potential dual diagnosis, when you have an addiction, when you have mental health, it's going to take really creative services to be able to establish the rapport, and it's going to take a lot of progressive engagement with the person. It's not going to always be one and done. And so to that criticism, I would say it's important to have that continuity of care, that establishment of rapport. And you know, Virginia, I've seen this happen. I've seen people who have declined services for 10 or 15 or 20 years of their life. And it took that one last time. And now they are sheltered and on their way to housing. So it really takes that persistence with the wraparound collaborative services.
Yeah, you're saying not to give up. You know, the Carlsbad City Council just approved a new ordinance that will allow police to deal with homeless people or anyone else who trespasses, loiters, panhandles aggressively. Business owners there have said that kind of behavior hurts their business. Do you agree with that ordinance?
Well, you know, one of the most important things to understand is that being homeless in itself is not criminal. Any person who has a experience of being homeless is on the street and being unsheltered, it's not criminal. What is partaking in any kind of criminal activity, whether someone is homeless or not. I think one thing that really sets this administration aside and what Mayor Gloria has really made a priority is in ensuring that we have outreach as a precursor, really making sure that there is that opportunity that someone could access the essential resources. As you know, mental health, substance abuse, or any other kind of intervention can really help divert a person to really get those long-term care needed rather than a one and done. So I would say that it's really important to prioritize outreach and supportive services.
Do you see a time, sometime in the future, where there will be no more homeless people on the streets?
That's a great question, Virginia. I think that a lot of leaders in this community, including the regional task force, including the county, including the San Diego Housing Commission, and all of the many different partners, the San Diego partnership downtown, that we're optimistic that we can make change and that we strive every single day as a collective, collaborative, anyone who wants to participate. It really takes a village in a community. And I think what's really special and what I've seen about San Diego is that optimism to really work together, work collaboratively and coordinate so that we know that we could one day at a time make a difference for persons experiencing homelessness.
Director of the San Diego Homeless Strategies and Solutions Department, Hafsa Keika, thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you, Virginia.